All right. Without further ado, I will kick it off. Hello, everyone. Again, thank you so much for joining the SAFE community call. This is the 9th community call. If you're wondering who the new face is, again, for those that maybe weren't here earlier, I'm Lornie Pfeiffer. I'm the new community lead at SAFE, and I'm so excited to be your new lead for all things community. If you have questions, comments, feedback, let me know. Diving it right on into the agenda from today. So we have, as I mentioned, a few really exciting new updates. And yeah, we'll just get right on in. So a few updates from the SAFE ecosystem. We'll be diving in more. We'll do a high overview of Grounds Council election updates. We're going to be hearing some news as well from the governance folks. And then we also have an ecosystem spotlight from our friends at Brahmafy, excuse me. But we have also another new face here, in case you haven't been active on Discord as well as Discourse, our forum. I would love to just introduce you guys to Andre, our head of governance here. He'll be giving us the governance update with some exciting news there as well. But let me just give you a quick overview on the Grants Council election updates. As a few of you may have seen on the forum or even on Twitter, we are launching a Grants Council, which is super exciting. And we want community members, you folks, to join. And so we had a really exciting election process in the last couple of weeks where we heard some really amazing candidates. But now we want you guys to save the date for June 21st. So this Wednesday, our grants program website will be going live. And we will also be hosting a Twitter Spaces where we will hear from candidates. So if you are a candidate and you want to speak and give a little spiel about your experience and why you, do let us know. There's a form here. Also, there will be a QR code at the end of the call that I'll share. So you guys can just easily scan that and go to all the important links here. But just mark your calendars for June 21st, because that's going to be a really exciting day. And then also, once the website is live, the grants program itself will be open for expression of interest. So again, not yet formal applications, but hey, if you're interested in applying for a grant, yes, you can be able to indicate here as well. So again, just a reminder, Wednesday is going to be an exciting day. So yeah, super excited for that. And you will also be seeing me on Twitter there on the Twitter space as well. So get used to it. Just kidding. All right. Moving on to the SafeDAO governance, again, Mr. Andre, he's our new governance head. He has some exciting updates for you guys to share. So I will hand him over to the floor. Take it away, Andre.
Thanks so much, Lornie, and thanks so much for the introduction. Hi, everyone. Really nice to see you all here, even if it's only as small initials, but really great that like a lot of people showed up for this community call. Yeah, we have quite some updates. Maybe you've seen it. We posted it on the forum, also on Discord and in the Guardians channel. We just published our SafeDAO Governance Hub. The SafeDAO Governance Hub should really become and maybe kicks off as a resource for everything SafeDAO related, if it comes to the operation or when it comes to the governance of SafeDAO. And yeah, you see here the link and a little screenshot, but like when you really dive into it, you see some of the sections that we think could be really helpful, particularly the role of the Safe Ecosystem Foundation. What role does it play in the governance overview, how to bring in a proposal, how to vote about it, how Snapshot works in this regard. We also introduced a proposal tracker, so you don't have to like dive deep into Discords anymore to see which proposals are actually in phase 0, which ones are in phase 1, which ones have moved to the voting stage, and which ones, for instance, have been voted on and have been executed, and which ones have not been executed yet. And yeah, last 2 sections are sections on how do we do delegation at SafeDAO, and how can you delegate and find your right delegate. But as said, it's a start. It's a place to kind of get all of the information together. And this is a living document. Please, yeah, share any sort of feedback, or when you can find anything, I have some ideas yourself, what should be in the governance hub and is not, please reach out anytime. Yes, second update is we launched a survey to hear from you how we can improve our operations, governance, and communication in SafeDAO. It's really not a long survey, so it should take maximum really 5 minutes. You see a link, it's a pretty long one, but I think we also have a QR code at the end that you can scan and actually go directly to the survey. This helps us really tremendously to hear like how is the temperature check right now. What are your ideas in how we can improve decision making? How can we improve communication? And so far already a few of you have filled out the survey and also really went into detail, which is really great and is really a good resource for us to improve things in the future. Yes, to that, we also feel free to just go on my Calendly to schedule a short, like 15, 30 minutes chat, however long you want it to be. I think some parts are really good to talk in the forum about. Other parts, it's just easier to have one-on-ones. I'll add more availabilities over the next weeks. Some of you have also taken advantage already of this and really looking forward to just getting to know you, hearing your thoughts, hearing your recommendations. And please feel free to reach out and book a slot. Coming to the part, so we divided into 2 parts. What are the current proposals and what are proposals that have been voted on but are not executed yet? So current proposals, some of you might have seen, we have an active proposal that wants to override the milestones set out in SCP-3. Just again, as a reminder, SCP-3 says that a few milestones have to be reached to vote on token transferability again. One is, for instance, in agreeing on a governance framework, resource utility framework, and a token utility framework. And this proposal asks to override these milestones and to enable token transferability at the same time. There is an active discussion right now. There's some participants that have, or one participant that has added from our side, the option C of giving a real timeline, a due date for these milestones, and then to vote for token transferability again. Some others said that some non-executed proposals should be executed first to override these milestones. Others are in favor. So please, dive into the discussions. Let us know what you think. And next step is, as so far, we do have the milestones on the roadmap, enabling SafeDAO to actually reach these milestones and then vote on token transferability. And this moves over to actually the next slides, which are non-executed proposals. And staying on that topic, SCP-3 with its 3 milestones, resource allocation, governance framework, token utility framework, hasn't been executed yet. So as it stands now, we cannot vote on token transferability. Next steps, there's really there has been groundwork done by the community. There is work to build on, especially when it comes to the resource allocation framework and the governance framework, which we have 2 long threads on, which were pretty active. And from our side, really want to, over the next days, and next weeks, really steward an efficient process to get through the milestones. So really enabling SafeDAO members to agree on following on through these milestones, and then having SCP-3 executed and then voting on token transferability. The next non-executed proposal is the redistribution of the unredeemed token. So also just as a reminder, SafeDAO has voted that 50% of the unredeemed token are gonna distribute it to those that have claimed in the first round. Pro rata, the other 50% are up for discussion and will need a separate SCP. Also, their groundwork has already been done also over the recent time. So core contributors have done some groundwork and preparation for the implementation. Now it's more of a question of of limited capacity to get through this technical blocker. But we're on that. We'll also reach out to the guardians and the community in case we need resources. So it's really a priority for us to kind of execute on all proposals that have been voted on and that have not been executed. So yeah, be assured. And the one thing that is in the proposal that needs to be reinterpreted actually, because otherwise we would need to vote again about it, is that there is a deadline for July 1st. If until then it's not redeemed, it will go back to SafeDAO, the allocation. So that was probably in the proposal, should have been not an absolute date, but actually a time frame. So for instance, 2 or 3 months after redemption is possible. So yeah, there's a need to reinterpret this to not have to vote again and to open up a specific time window until can be redeemed, and then it's going back to SafeDAO. Yes, so just wrapping up, as said, really want to execute on voting proposals that have been voted on but not executed. If you want to stay up to date with SafeDAO, there's a couple of ways. It's not super straightforward at the moment, but we'll work also on that. The easiest way is to follow Safe Governance on Twitter. Check the governance channel on Discord. Discord also has email summaries. We will look into this and make it a bit easier for folks to actually choose the right preferences, which channels to track. Also, Snapshot has a notification function. But yeah, we want to hear from you what actually would help you to keep up to date. We used to have weekly summaries, weekly digest that we're going to restart. That was also some of the feedback already from the improvement survey. But if you have any other idea or another format or cadence that you think is good to implement, yeah, please check out the survey or reach out to me directly. And yeah, thanks so much for your attention.
Thank you so much, Andre. I see we have one question we could probably just handle here from the Q&A. So we have Emerson asking, currently what determines which proposals move to Snapshot? If you could give an answer on that.
Yeah. So under the governance process that we have right now, there is a time period, 6 days, that something has to stay in phase 1. Afterwards, if it hasn't been materially changed, so there's no change to the proposal, then it can move on to Snapshot. For spam prevention, Snapshot has that, or we have in our Snapshot space, that you need 20,000 safe token to move the vote to Snapshot. If you don't have the safe token yourself, then the process is reach out to a delegate or reach out to a guardian that can sponsor your vote and then move it to Snapshot. But yes, from the governance process, it's a specific time that it's in phase 1, and then having 20,000 token to put it to Snapshot and have it as an active vote.
Oh, and we have one follow-up question to that as well from Franco. By unclaimed tokens, you mean those people who have not claimed any tokens at all so far?
With unredeemed tokens is meant that so when it comes to the SEP, it has voted on, or like maybe we can go 2 slides back, if possible. Those that, yes, exactly. Those that have redeemed their token will get that's what the SafeDAO agreed on, will get another airdrop allocation pro rata, 50% of what could have been in total given out. The other 50% will can go out for completely new initiatives and will be voted on again.
Okay, thank you for that. And one other question we've seen come through the audience from Ram. Is Discourse the best option that you've seen? I've experienced Commonwealth and it is quite underwhelming. Are there any foreign platforms that you are aware of that are not Discourse?
Yeah, it's a very good question. I've seen DAOs move from Commonwealth back to Discourse, from Discourse to Commonwealth. There's also a bunch of others. I think one can really optimize Discord, of course, with a lot of plugins and also ways to make it easier and to customize it better. So that's definitely also part of our roadmap, making it just easier to know where information is. If if we do feel at one point needs a completely different platform, we'll also look into this. But for now would be, let's use what we have as tooling and make it better.
Oh, okay. And then Reem had a follow-up note asking, integrated Discord proposals is a good move, but long-term, someone needs to build a better forum. I couldn't.
Yeah, that, I mean, that could be part of our grant, or I think there
Yes.
could be some parts that where to plug this in. No, but if you have any also suggestions or any other platforms, yeah, please reach out. But I agree, it's not optimal, but we can make it definitely better.
Yes, absolutely. All right. For the interest of time, thank you, Andre, so much. Like, he literally has been behind the scenes doing so much work on this. And so I'm so excited that there's so much going on, and that you all community are being very open in terms of giving us your feedback. We want it. Please keep it coming. Yes, that's what helps us keep us strong. Let's see. I'm gonna, how to reach out after, Andre. There's a, yeah, if you could send the link to do an interview, Andre, that would be helpful. I didn't put it in the link tree. And then Ivan says he will code 14256 safe. Amazing.
Wonderful.
Amazing.
Link in the chat. Thanks so much, everyone.
Awesome. Moving on next to our ecosystem spotlight, we have a really exciting presentation from Brahmafy. So I'm going to hand over the stage to Bapi, the CTO of Brahmafy. Bapi, do you have, let me do screen share just a second. You are good to go. Hello.
Can you hear me, guys?
Ah, yes, this is Alessandro. Hi.
Yeah, this is me, but I can't see the screen sharing option though. But at least I can speak, which is good.
Okay, hold the phone.
Join us, panelists.
Yes. Give me a second.
Okay, now I think, can you guys hear me?
I can hear you, yes. Can anyone else
Awesome.
hear? Sweet.
Okay, I'll try sharing my screen. Let me know if you see it.
Yes, I can see it.
Cool. Perfect. All right. So I'm Alessandro. I'm here with Bapi. We are both co-founders of Brahma, and we have been working in DeFi for about 2 years, specifically on this project built on top of Safe for about half a year now. And I'm here to just give you like a run through and discuss it together. Oh, I got kicked.
Oh, Alessandro, you still there?
Can you hear me now?
Ah, yeah, I can hear you now, yes.
I'm so sorry. Can you see my screen?
Yes, yes.
Perfect.
And yes.
Sorry. I was just saying I'm going to give you a quick run through of console and what we built. And
Perfect.
then, of course, if there's any question, you can ask. So what is console? Essentially, console is a pro DeFi experience built on top of Safe. And it's focusing on enabling better interaction with DeFi apps from a Safe, as well as getting automation capabilities. So as you know, like most of the users in DeFi are interacting from an EOA account, from an externally owned account, to DApp, but this prevents both adding some security features, some recovery features, as well as, most importantly, multi-sig, obviously. And by using Safe as a smart contract wallet, you can leverage a lot of opportunities, including gasless transactions, batching of transactions, and obviously building some access control on top of your wallet when you interact with DeFi. So we focus on making Safe a better option to use for these use cases. And most importantly, we focus a lot on automation. And when I say automation, what that exactly means is that imagine that you are performing a recurring action over time and you want to have it automated instead of signing from your multisig every single time. So this could be something like purchasing a token over time, like a dollar cost average, or any type of execution where you want to spread it over a few days, or you want to harvest the rewards of a specific positions every week at the same time. And you would have to go on a call, whether you're a DAO, an asset manager, or an individual owner, you would have to go and sign every time with your multiple owners. So we enable, by building a Safe module, we enable users to basically program a signature with a very tight allowance, and allowing us to call directly a function from your safe directly to the dApp. So for example, if you want to do a recurring order on CalSwap or a recurring harvesting of a balancer LP position rewards, we can automate this for you. And in the meantime, we try to make the UX a bit better in a lot of things. Some examples are security. So we create sub-accounts for your safe. Essentially, what that means is that whenever you start an automation, console automatically allows you to create a new safe owned by your main safe, which will hold the approvals and the tokens required for that specific automation. So imagine that you have something like automatic harvesting that we talked about and a dollar cost averaging running. These essentially are completely segregated in two separate safes, and therefore their risk is effectively managed. We also built a multi-call transaction builder, which is a bit more intuitive, and some analytics that are focused on DeFi positions, as well as a human readable transaction simulator. And I'll show you a bit of this when I demo you a bit later in the call. The way console works is that there's two flows. There's a flow for a user that already has a safe, and they come and import their existing safe. And then we essentially, they are connecting to our safe module, our console safe module. And from there, they can both automate things on their safe. They can do multi-call from the UX without having to wallet connect and connect on different DeFi protocol UXs. And they can as well, batch transaction and so on. The other flow is for a user that doesn't have a safe. So imagine you're an EOA owner, EOA user, you use MetaMask, and you want to get these capabilities. You come and we help you create a safe in a very seamless way. You just connect your EOA, you sign one transaction, and your safe gets deployed in the background, and you are directly thrown into console where you can onboard and start doing things from your new safe. So I'll show you that in a second. Things that you can do on console are segregated between actions, automation, strategies. The difference is that actions is something that you trigger yourself. So imagine you come to console with your safe connected and you want to do a multi-send, and you want to send out 20 tokens to 20 different addresses. You can build it up in the transaction builder and send it all together. If you want a pre-made strategy, which you really don't have to do anything to modify, imagine almost like how a vault, a DeFi vault works nowadays. You can get that where we would pre-optimize a strategy for you, whether it's like some leverage staking or some borrow position that automatically will repay debt or keep it in check. These are all examples of automations that we can create. And automations are simply different because you input the parameters of what you want to do. So in a DCA, you're effectively choosing the frequency of the DCA. You're choosing the execution mode, which keepers to use. And obviously you're choosing the path, right? Which token you want to sell and which token you want to buy. This is how, just high level, this is how a console looks when you drop into it. And I'll show you a bit more now in a prototype, but essentially you can see that it's a very minimal UI in a way, but there's a lot of opportunity to dive into information, which I'll show you a bit right after. But essentially you can have your main safe, which has some funds deposited on, which may be imported, which is 934. And by starting an automation like a borrow position, you would effectively open a sub account, which, as we discussed, is a new safe, and you're able to manage multiple safes, essentially all your sub accounts in the same UX without really a lot of friction. Like you sign to start an automation, and a new safe is being created with that automation. The assets are being moved to that specific safe, and the automation starts without you really having a lot of friction. The best part of all of this, I think, is that, and why we built it on safe, is that we want the user to retain full control. So once the user uses the console safe module, they're effectively only getting improvements in UX and automated calls of specific operations over time, but they're not giving us any deposit in any of our contract. There is absolutely no pooling of funds or such. So essentially the user is subscribing and starting a position directly on Aave, CalSwap Balancer, whatever the protocol that they're trying to do something or automate something on, without giving us control of this position. So After a position has been opened, the user can just go to SafeDAO Global, connect with their EOA that owns this new safe that we created for you or the one you imported, and you could effectively even manage your position yourself without console. So in a risk event or whenever you want to have direct access to see your position, it's always there. It's always owned by your safe, and it's always accessible to you. And this is something that wasn't fully possible before, where like in smart contract wallet, different customization didn't allow for quick access of a position, or like in case that a front end or a back end of the DApp was down. In this case, you really have always full control. Yeah, we build on Safe using a variety of features, but the primary ones are Safe module, fallback handler, and safeguard. Safe modules is because we had to build our custom Safe module that allows for essentially extensibility of the safe to allow it to perform this signature that leads to getting automated actions done from your safe directly to the end protocol. Also, we built a custom module for supporting multiple keepers. We launched this with Gelato, which means that you're effectively getting your position automated on chain. So something like a DCA can be automated by a Gelato task that we set up while you're doing a signature on console, and you are getting automated, automated execution that you can check anytime on Gelato. Fallback handlers, we did this to be compliant with EIP 1271 and basically have gasless transactions on top of CalSwap and a few other use cases. And we are now working for the next releases with safeguards to allow people to add extra access control on top of their safe. So think of asset managers or DAO, and they want to create policies for when a certain extra signature has to be triggered, or for whitelisting a specific contract and saying only whitelisted wallets can receive funds, or I can send to only whitelisted contract protocols I can interact with, nothing else that is not whitelisted. And so we're building all of this walled garden on top of a safe that is easier to use and customize for an asset manager or for a user. And we're doing this in phases. So we released console only a few weeks ago. We have only test users on this. It is currently closed, and we're onboarding the users that are most relevant to give us feedback as well for them and the use case that we are launching with. So the very first release was focused around single owner safe creation, meaning you connect your EOA, and with one signature, you create a new safe that EOA owns. You can do multi-call transactions, meaning like you can batch send of tokens together. You can simulate transaction. You can change the payment token. You can decide to pay your gas in ETH or USDC, for example. And we show you a preview in a readable format of any transaction that you're signing. Right now, obviously, this is a limited release. Now we're working on release 2, which is focused on multi-sig support, meaning you can effectively create a multi-sig safe. You can manage the owners of the safe directly in console over time. You can import an existing multi-sig safe. So this is quite relevant for existing safe users with multi-sig configuration. And we're also launching like auto compounding and auto reward harvesting flow, as well as a few more things under the hood. I'd like to show you, if we have some more time, I can show you quickly through an onboarding flow of console, just to show you how we think of the UX for a user.
Yes, please, that'd be great.
Cool. I'll show you in a prototype because it's a bit easier for me to go back and forth, but I also have a live version that I can obviously talk about. So imagine you're coming to console and you're connecting your MetaMask, and the first step is to create a console, as we said, for now, for this release, which means that you have to deploy it safe, essentially. So we always ask and prompt the user to add a name because we want to personalize the experience. It has a little bit of friction, Web2 style, but in a positive way. Once you create a console, you will feel that it has a lot of customization. So I give a name to my console, and then second, we ask you which gas token do you want to use. Do you want to pay gas in Ethereum or in USDC on your new safe? You can change these things at any point in time. This is just the first onboarding. And then we ask you to create a whitelist. So what the whitelist is, essentially, is telling us which protocols you feel safe interacting with. You can edit this at any time, but if, for example, I am not selecting Synthetics or Aura, and I will go in a try to interact with Aura, I will get a big warning that will say, hey, Aura was not whitelisted previously by you. If you do this transaction, you're essentially whitelisting a new protocol and a new contract. So it's sort of an extra security feature and peace of mind. And we're working on deeper, like, access control, as I mentioned, with safeguards. All right, so you have a review of your console. You see who the owner is, the EOA. You see it's actually on Ethereum. We're only on Ethereum mainnet for now. You have an estimated gas fee for your safe deployment, as well as the Tenderly simulation link, and the whitelist that you subscribe to, which you can change now or later. And now you sign from your EOA, and your console is effectively being created, which in the background is essentially a deployment of a safe on mainnet. So once this step is done, you have a new safe owned by your EOA. You can go to SafeDAO Global and you can use it for whatever you want with Wallet Connect. This is not restricted. It doesn't have an extra signer whatsoever. So now you're in console, and you start, and you have a few pages. You have the home page where you see your assets, the P&L, the history. You have the strategies where you basically see the strategies that we talked about, like any optimized strategy flow for borrowing and farming, or DCing over time, or staking at the best rate. You have automations, which are like, for example, DCA, auto compounding, anything where you can customize the parameters. And then you have settings where you can change the owners of the safe. You can change the gas payment token. You can change the whitelist that I showed you before. And now you're in, and this is essentially 934 is your new safe. Again, you can connect it on SafeDAO Global. You have no assets in this safe, so you have to first deposit some assets. So for example, I will be depositing some assets from my EOA, from the connected MetaMask. Once this is done, okay, this is a prompt for our new multi-sig mode, which is launching soon. And now that I'm done, I can actually do actions from here, right? There's two ways. I can go to the pages, like strategies or automation, or I can select an asset, and I can go straight into the action that I want to perform with that asset. So I will only see, a bit like a spotlight on a Mac, I will only see the actions I can do. So in this case, I can DCA with USDC. And if I click DCA, I'm there in the automation page of DCA, where I can do a few things. I can choose, obviously, the asset I want to DCA to. So I want to receive Ethereum, I want to sell USDC, and I want to do this on a weekly basis, right? I want to sell automatically from my safe without extra signatures. I will do one signature now for this amount, 15.5K. And DCA will happen over time in 5 or 10 swaps, whatever amount of weeks you select. When we add the automation, we have the transaction builder, which, as I said, has a bit of context extra given to the user. So for example, I can open the top pane and I can see what's happening in English, essentially decoded for me. So I am market buying ETH over time in 10 parts using USDC. I'm using Gelato for the keeper execution, and I'm giving token approvals to the Calso contract only, which I can obviously see on Etherscan. I'm also getting a sub account by subscribing to this automation, which, as I said, just means that these 15.5K are going to be, a new safe is going to be owned by your master safe, and the 15.5K and the approvals to the Calso contract, we only go to this new safe, which means that whatever happens, only those 15.5K are at risk in that subsafe. And then before signing, you can simulate this transaction, and the simulation of a transaction gives you, again, a readable output of a Tenderly simulation. Like, we both run a Tenderly simulation as well as a simulation in-house, and we put both for you, so you can click and go to see the full Tenderly simulation, or you can actually just see the ERC20 balance changes. It is as intended, 15.5K. So if you feel comfortable, you can sign this, or you can add multiple actions. You could send, DCA, and do other actions all in one transaction and just build it in here. And then you sign. Once I'm signed and into a DCA, I actually start getting direct updates inside of my page. So I can basically open the activity, and again, I can read the coded activity of the transaction that happened. Instead of having to go to Etherscan for each, I can see what's happening. I guess maybe I'll stop here. There's obviously a lot more. Once you have multiple positions on your console, you can see, as I said, multiple safes. So this is one safe, 934. Safe A is running a leverage borrowing position on Aave, and safe B is running auto compounding and DCA, for example. I can see individual stats from those positions live as they happen. And I can see obviously the history of what happened, like which kind of automation were triggered. So here the leverage was adjusted for me, and so on and so forth. All from all from the comfort of the of the tailored UX for this. So yeah, this is console, and there would be a lot more features added. So a user that comes in sees things launching pretty much every week.
Amazing. This is super impressive. Alessandro and Bapi, like, wow, super jazzed at what you guys are building. Is there any channels where we can follow the project, a Discord, Twitter?
Yes, so there's a Twitter here, Brahma5, and then there's the website of Console, which is console.brahma.fi. Yeah.
Amazing. Thank you. And I see we have some questions here. There's one that's unanswered. Does Console take platform fees from Reem?
Right now, it doesn't. The way we're thinking about this is that anything you start and do atomically on like if you were doing it on your safe, like something like doing a multi-send or a multi-call transaction, we won't charge anything. If there's something you automate in the future, like you want to automatically withdraw from an LP position if a defect happens or if a pool liquidity drops, this will happen whenever this happens. And so the monitoring system obviously will be charged. So it will be a percentage fee on the total execution amount of an automation in the future, but not right now. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. And we have room for one more question. Someone just popped this one in the chat. So how does the transaction translation work? Does it support only specific protocols? And is it possible to contribute it to somehow as an external dev?
Right, maybe
yes, maybe I can take this. So in case of transaction translation, we actually use a lot of context that is decoded from the particular protocol interaction that the user is taking place. Right? So this is in a way an ongoing work, and we are currently working on a spec that actually can be used by other external devs to contribute as well. So I think we'll be sharing that over the next few releases, so others can actually use it in their own safe apps as well for the translation. Yeah.
Amazing. And then how can community members get in touch with you folks apart from Twitter?
We also have a Discord, obviously linked on the Twitter. We have a form to onboard to Console, which is kind of a quick type form. Then we reach out to users and onboard them one by one as the right phase comes. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. There you heard it, Ram. The answer. Oh, for partnerships, that's a follow-up question. How to reach out for partnerships?
Oh, same. We have a partnership channel on our Discord. So if you want to reach out there, it's perfect. And we're very active there. So, we'll reach out, we'll respond in no time.
Okay, perfect. Well, thank you, friends. In the interest of time, we need to move on to our final round of Q&A. There's also a quick announcement from the Safe ecosystem. So let me see, let me load the slides again. Oh, there we go. Yeah, so quick Q&A. Does anyone have any questions for the Brahma 5 folks or for Andre regarding governance or grants council? I know we have about 5 minutes left, so I want to be mindful of your time. Feel free to pop them in the chat. Also, if you missed out on any of the links here, that we have them in the chat, but also feel free to scan this QR code as well to click through there. Okay, going once, going twice. All right, friends. Well, let's go to the next one, which is there's something cool coming tomorrow at 2:30 p.m. CET. So mark your calendars for that. We have some really exciting news coming with regards to our ecosystem. So if you're an ecosystem project, stay tuned. Let's see, do we have one? There's one question from Rem. Will there be console deployment multi-chain? Oh, this is for the Brahma 5 folks.
Yes, in short, yes. But we want to make sure mainnet is very smooth and working with also asset managers. So then it will be Arbitrum. So yes, there will be.
All right, perfect. Any remaining questions, my friends? Otherwise, that's it. No. All right. Well, thank you so much for tuning in. And we really appreciate you guys for taking the time to share your afternoon, morning, or night, evening with us. Greatly appreciated. And yeah, feel free to give us a shout. And if you need any more help, you know where to find me. I'm in the Discord and Telegram and other channels. Yeah. Thank you, Adam, for showing up. All right, everyone, take care. Thanks again and have a wonderful rest of your day. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Hi,
Thank you.
everyone.
Bye.
Thanks, guys.